It's an everyday thing. It's an everyday thing. It's an everyday thing when you let your nuts hang.
In the criminal justice system, sexually-based offenses are considered especially heinous. In New York City, the dedicated detectives who investigate these vicious felonies are members of an elite squad known as the Special Victims Unit. These are their stories.
On how I found out that my son's father has a baby with his blood sister. Not that this makes it any better, but they don't have the same mom. They do have the same dad. Now, I can only tell my point of view from this. I can't tell his or her point of view. I'm only going to be telling what I experienced and what I've learned from that situation, which I am no longer in. And it took me years to get away from. So I met my child's father when I was 17. He was 20 at the time. I was a few months away from aging out of foster care, and I was considered a runaway. Me and him got serious, and I moved in his mom's house with him. First dumb mistake. When we first started talking, I asked him more than once, do you have any kids? Mind you, I don't have any kids, and I don't want to talk to anybody with kids. Time and time again, he told me, no, he doesn't have any kids. He's young, he's selling his green stuff, and yeah, I'm only mentioning that because at that moment, when I asked more than once, that's when he should have mentioned, hey, I do have a kid. Not that he had to go into detail about how he had the kid, but I did want to know. And I genuinely feel like if he told me, hey, I do have a kid, me and him were never going to be a thing. Like I said, I don't talk to people with kids. So that's where a lot of my frustration came from after I found out what I found out. Fast forward, I find out that I'm pregnant with my son. And all I remember is one night, him coming into the house, and he told me that he had to talk to me. Now, I assumed something was eating him up. We actually took a walk around the neighborhood, and he was really fidgety. He kept telling me how he had to tell me something. Now, at this point, I had been around his family. I had pretty much met everybody involved in his family. I met his brothers, I met his sister, and I did remember that his sister had a kid. The little girl was probably 6 or 7. So, of course, I was thinking that's his niece. When he's telling me he has to tell me something, he was really fidgety. So because of how fidgety he was, I'm like, bro, just spit it out. Like, what are you about to say? Because clearly it's something crazy. He proceeds to say, you know the little girl that I call my niece? And instantly I thought, oh my gosh, did he touch her? But what he was about to say next, I was not ready for it. He proceeded to say, the little girl that I call my niece, that's not my niece, that's my daughter. So me still being like, okay, that's your daughter, I'm still not ready for what he's about to tell me. In my head, I'm thinking, okay, you had a kid young and you sent her to live with your sister. But then he confirmed that that was his child that him and his sister had when they were 12 years old. I just remember my mind going blank. My heart dropped. I instantly thought, what the fuck did I get myself into? Looking at him, I was disgusted. I was confused. I was lost. I was even more upset because I'm like, I'm pregnant now. You could have told me that before we got serious. And still giving him the benefit of the doubt. You didn't even have to go into detail. You didn't have to tell me that deep secret when we first met. All you had to tell me was that you had a kid. At that point, I remember waking up every single morning, crying my eyes out. It was something that would not get out of my head for weeks. All I could think about is how I'm about to have a kid with somebody who has a kid with their sister. As time went on, everything felt like a demonic hold on my life. I felt like I was now attaching myself to a cursed family. Not to mention, something that really stuck with me was the fact that the sister that he has the baby with, she has the same exact birthday as me. Everything felt like a curse. His mom wanted me to settle with the idea that I was now going to be 18, 19 years old, a new mom and a stepmother to his daughter. His mom was trying to push marriage on us so much. After I had my son, she wanted us to have another kid. And at that moment, I just knew this is not something I want to be a part of. Now, what his mom and his dad and his sister's mom went through, I look at that as also a curse. So it felt like she was trying to suck me in so deep that I would not have any way out. Nothing ever went right in that relationship, ever, for years. And that's how I knew this is not for me. It's never going to be for me. As much as I want a normal life, a normal relationship with this person, it will never be that. Because always in the back of my head, I always went back to thinking how I shouldn't be in this situation in the first place. When people say like you cannot properly love somebody without loving their kid, that's true. I was weirded out by everything. I was disgusted by everything. I did not trust him around his sister, and his family tried their hardest to make me feel comfortable with the fact that he has a kid with his sister. It was something I just was never okay with. I was never going to be okay with. I remember at one point even telling him, like, when my son gets older, I would prefer if he knows her as his cousin instead of his sister, because it's just too much confusion and it's too many questions that's going to be asked. And I don't even want to like open that door for my son to think anything like that is okay. Mind you, they felt some type of way when I said that. They told me how selfish it was and how I was not right for wanting to call them cousins instead of brother and sister. Not to mention, my son's father always has an excuse when it comes to the little girl. He would go months without talking to her, even though they stayed in the same city. He would barely see her, and he pretty much just acted like she didn't exist. His mom would even have to make him go get the little girl birthday gifts to bring over to her on her birthday. He was never the praying type. It's like the biggest, darkest cloud is over his life. And it's just not something I wanted to be attached to. And it's not something I want my son to be attached to. So I did what I thought was right, and I took my son away from all of that. Like I'm going to keep saying, it's demonic. It's not something I am okay with. As humans, we're going to make mistakes. It's up to us to acknowledge things and try to turn things around. And I never got that vibe or that behavior from him. He kind of had like a it is what it is mentality. His mindset was kind of like, I fucked over my own life, did something, you know, that I was not supposed to do, and it is what it is. I got to live with it. I'm not trying to better my life. And I'm going to ruin everybody else's life that enters my life. And that's just no role model for my son. That's just not something I want my son growing up thinking is okay. And I'm just happy that I got as far as away from all that as possible. Do I feel bad at times? Yes. But do I know that it's for the better? Yes. As my son's parent, it's my job to break generational curses. It's my job to set boundaries, even if it's with his father. And at the end of the day, I can only control what I do. I can only control my child. As far as living righteous, that's all that I'm about. I grew up as a messed up child. I myself, as an adult, decided to not hold on to that and turn my life completely around. So why would I want to raise a messed up child? I want my child to be the best version of himself possible. Incest is something I would not support at all. And I don't care who doesn't like it. At the end of the day, this is going to be the child that I have to raise and the child that I take care of. Nobody else.
Fortunately, I wish this was a fake story time. I wish I was just lying for clickbait. I wish this was something that was a dream. But because this is real, a lot of people that might have an idea of who I'm talking about or know who my child's father is, they are already on board and they already know exactly who I'm talking about, and they know it's not a lie. This is one of the messages I received.
That video is so true. She did my hair before, and she was talking one day and rambling, said that she had a baby by her brother. She never knew it was you until she showed me a pic of the baby, G, and her daughter. She was very weird and nasty. Oh wow, I see, I hate that. How am I supposed to be okay raising my son in a family like that? A family that thinks that stuff is okay. It's disgusting. Yeah, I was like, what the F? Because she don't know me. She was just talking. She would say my brother and then proceed and say it was her baby daddy told me how it happened. And all playing house and that she was technically still a virgin because she didn't go all the way and that her baby...
Y'all can pause to read it. Just an example of why I don't feel bad about telling, my point of view on here. And that's exactly why nobody cannot be mad about me telling my point of view on here. Because it's something that they're promoting. Mind you, you don't know who knows me. For example, that person that I just showed y'all in this screenshot. All it took was for her to see my son in the picture to know, oh shit, that's Kari's son. I know Kari. It's embarrassing. So to be doing hair and telling your client willingly that you have a baby with your brother, it's weird, y'all. I wish I was making this up. Unfortunately, I wish this was a...
Somebody says, oh, I just watched your TikTok. Oh my God, why the F they used to say her baby daddy was some other older dude? I cannot believe the baby daddy is her brother. I knew she had a baby young, but I did not know he was the dad. Girl, what kind of sick stuff? What it do, everyday people, man? It's your boy PJ. Today we back with another lit video. Back in the confessional, and yes, we staying lit, big dog, man. Shout out to my everyday people who rock with me every day. Shout out to my player partner, Lucky Wizard Deals and Keys Lit. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe to this video. Let me know what y'all think about this in the comment section. Hit the links below. We got HiveMindLabs.com. Yes, where you can unbig that back. Okay. And yes, with a healthy diet and exercise, you'll be straight. I need to get back on it because, boy, I be taking breaks from just living life, you know what I mean? And that's what we do as an adult. So, make sure whenever you get back on it, you get your supply of them super fat burners. All right, we got Moog's Coffee, okay, where you can use the discount code everydaypj at checkout. I guess it's time for another Moog's Coffee review. All right, let's get into it. I don't think that they are okay with it, but it's life, so they gotta be okay with it. Like, what you gonna be like? Oh, I hate my life. They can't just hate their life. This is something that I'm pretty sure the mom and the dad didn't expect for it to happen. Let alone the kids over here doing what kids do. They ain't supposed to do all that, but they do be exploring. We heard the whole story about Shrine Rock and her sister, how her sister made her eat her out and stuff like that. Had that been a boy, what would y'all be thinking? Y'all be thinking, oh, they could have had a baby. So it's not like this thing never happens because the kids are so curious. But I'm not saying it's right now. I'm not agreeing with it. I'm just saying this is the reality that they have to live about. And she's saying, oh, they're disgusting. They're okay with that. No, they're not okay with that. Like, I'm pretty sure when this shit was going down, everybody was up in an uproar in that house. There was not one person. It's probably all type of CPS and everything else involved over this situation with a 12-year-old getting pregnant. Stop it. Okay? You keeping your kid away because you just are that type of parent. You know what I mean? And yeah, they gonna... having the kid around them, yeah, they okay with it because that's their life. I just don't get it, man. But, do what you want to do. It's a good enough reason for me. If you don't want your kid around it, you don't want your kid around it. I understand because of the situation that has happened where kids are being left alone and they end up having a baby. I'm sure nobody would want their child to be around that, obviously. So, but to think that the parents are just, a lot of people are like, that family gaslighting you. No, they not. That family already done dealt with the consequences of what she say, the baby like 5, 6 years old. Come on, well, actually older than that, because if they had a baby at 12 and she's around 18, this girl, so there had to be maybe a 5 to 6 year difference between all this stuff happening. So the baby's, moving around like the pain and the hurt that's settled in. Now reality has kicked in and life goes on. Life goes on. Although we may not agree with what happened, after everything, the main thing is like, aren't you glad it's not an uncle? You ain't got to be glad, but I'm saying, aren't you glad it's not an uncle? See, that's what it's abuse either way it go, but we don't know what that family had to go through. See, that's why she just telling you her story, and yeah, her story makes sense. But to sit here and say that they okay with it, I don't think they okay with it, because you telling your story, but you telling them how they feel about it, and they probably over there like, I know this is not telling us we okay with this stuff. What we supposed to do? Oh no, we gotta hide the truth from y'all. No, we ain't gotta hide. They do want to hide the truth because obviously they want to hide the truth. They don't want them to grow up with it being weird. And then you sitting over here saying that they make it weird. That's what she said. She said they wanted to make sure that he known her as her cousin, and she's fighting. No, he needs to know that that's his sibling. It really don't matter what he know him as. Just as long as the same situation don't have it. Because if you don't bring him around, there's a chance that they could hook up one night and then there'll be another one. And then you'll be like, damn, you got another, you like father, like son. All because you want to keep your kid away from that family. Does that make sense? I mean, I might not be right, but I know I ain't wrong. I'm just saying. Let them tell their story. And let them tell you how they really feel. Let them tell you what really happened. Let them tell you about how CPS was at their door because a 12-year-old got pregnant and they try to figure out who the daddy is. Come to find out it's her brother who's also 12 years old. And then you got the mom and let's hear that story. You got to hear that story. I'm sure they didn't tell you that story because look at you. Loose lips sink ships. And she got another video talk about, you telling people stuff in confidentiality and they go and use it against you. It's wow. That's what throws me off. She says, I gotta just show y'all.
From social media, message of the day: if you tell somebody something in confidentiality and they later bring it back up and throw it in your face, or they go and tell somebody, that's airing out their business. But you can't air out somebody's business that they put out on their own. Do y'all see where I'm going with that? If somebody said and told you and 50 million other people something, it's obviously because they wanted you guys to know. It's obviously something that they probably didn't care about. Do you think bringing it up, trying to throw that in their face, is going to make them mad when they already told everybody? They already aired it out. So you're not re-airing anything out. You're not saying anything new that anybody hasn't heard. And that's why people be telling y'all don't have tea, y'all have piss. Y'all don't be telling no good business. Y'all be telling shit people already done heard. People already know. Y'all just be trying to bring it back up to hurt the person. And then when it don't hurt the person, y'all confused as to why it's not hurting the person. Maybe because the person already fucking told everybody and they genuinely don't care. Like, y'all don't even be having tea no more. Y'all don't even be having piss. Y'all just be having straight up water.
Perfect example is, they told everybody. They want people. They've told people, but bringing it to the internet, that's a whole different ball game. TikTok is messy as hell. Well, it's out there now, so people know. It is what it is. But see, that's the thing. Some people know, some people don't know. Now everybody know. Everybody that's around you. And I'm sure once people start to put two and two together and people start name dropping, other people start making videos and people, oh, you talk about my sister? Now they airing out they self because they know, then other people gonna put two and two together and then everybody gonna know, the world gonna know. But it's just like, that's the thing. It's people that really truly do this. I don't think you doing this to hurt anybody. I don't think you doing this for, I don't know if, I wouldn't say it's for clout. It's a story time. It's your story. If it's your story, then it's, or it's part of your story. It ain't your story, but it's part of your story, your kid's story. So you're not really hurting them if they telling people, but are you? Anyway, life lessons can be learned in all different shapes and forms. Just make sure you're on the right side of history when shit goes down. Everyday people, let me know what y'all think about this in the comment section. Like, comment, subscribe, and holler at you later. Peace.